Bobbi Kristina Brown's passing was a devastating loss that sent shockwaves across the world. As the only daughter of music icon Whitney Houston, her tragic fate eerily mirrored that of her mother, leaving many in disbelief. Found unresponsive in a bathtub, Bobbi Kristina's condition sparked an outpouring of grief. But as details unfolded, the tragedy became even more unsettling. Beneath the sorrow lay a web of mystery, troubling allegations, and unanswered questions, all pointing toward one man, Nick Gordon. As suspicions mounted, chilling revelations painted a disturbing picture of control, manipulation, and potential foul play, turning what seemed like an unfortunate accident into a deeply troubling case that still haunts those who followed her story. Nick Gordon, who professed his deep love for Bobbi Kristina, adamantly maintained his innocence. But was he truly blameless, or was his public display of grief merely a calculated act to mask something far more sinister? As the tragic story of Bobbi Kristina unfolded, unsettling questions arose about Gordon's role in her final days. Was he a devoted partner caught in a devastating tragedy, or did he harbor dark secrets that played a part in her untimely demise? The circumstances surrounding Bobbi Kristina's final moments remain clouded in controversy, with disturbing allegations painting a troubling picture of Gordon's influence over her life. Reports surfaced of a toxic and controlling relationship, raising suspicions that her death was not just an unfortunate accident. Those closest to her described troubling behavior, hinting at a pattern of manipulation, deceit, and alleged abuse. As scrutiny intensified, Gordon made desperate attempts to clear his name, issuing statements that many found questionable or outright deceptive. Were his words genuine, or simply a carefully crafted narrative to deflect blame? The legal battles, explosive revelations, and the ultimate fate of Nick Gordon himself only deepened the mystery. Today, we delve into the shocking details of Bobbi Kristina's final days, exposing the lies, the accusations, and the haunting truth behind one of the most tragic celebrity cases in recent history. Stay tuned, because this story is far darker than you ever imagined. On January 31st, 2015, Bobbi Kristina Brown was discovered face down in a bathtub in her home in Roswell, Georgia. The circumstances were eerily similar to Whitney Houston's death just 3 years earlier. But while Whitney's passing was ruled an accidental drowning due to drug intoxication, Bobbi Kristina's case quickly became shrouded in suspicion. Nick Gordon, the man Bobbi Kristina once referred to as her husband, was immediately under scrutiny. And for good reason. Not only was he the last person to see her alive, but his behavior in the aftermath raised countless red flags. Gordon wasted no time portraying himself as a heartbroken man devastated by the loss of his beloved Chrissy. He wept on national television, pleading for the world to believe that he did everything he could to save her. In an interview with Dr. Phil, he slurred through his words, seemingly intoxicated, as he said, "I loved Chrissy with all my heart. I would never hurt her. I tried to save her that night. I gave her CPR until the paramedics came. If I had done anything wrong, why would I call 911? I was just trying to bring her back." But was he telling the truth? Or was this just a carefully constructed lie to hide a much darker reality? The lawsuit filed against Nick Gordon painted a horrifying picture of what really happened behind closed doors. According to Bobbi Kristina's estate, Gordon was an abusive and manipulative partner. He allegedly controlled her finances, isolated her from her family, and subjected her to physical violence. But the most chilling allegation? Gordon reportedly gave Bobbi Kristina a toxic cocktail of drugs before placing her unconscious body in the bathtub. And the signs of abuse were apparent. Friends reported seeing bruises on Bobbi Kristina's body in the days leading up to the tragedy. The medical examiner later determined that she had suffered from lobar pneumonia, which was caused by drug intoxication and water immersion. However, they could not officially rule her death as accidental or intentional. Despite this uncertainty, the court had no doubt about Gordon's responsibility. He was found legally liable for Bobbi Kristina's death and ordered to pay $36 million in damages to her estate. But even as the evidence mounted, Gordon continued to push his innocence. Nick Gordon's version of events changed multiple times, making his claims even more suspicious. In one interview, he stated, "Bobbi was just taking a bath. She had been stressed, but she was fine. I went downstairs and when I came back, she wasn't breathing. It all happened so fast, I panicked." But in another interview, he gave a completely different story. "We had an argument that night, but it wasn't serious. She locked herself in the bathroom, and when I finally got in, she was already in the water. I don't know how long she was there." Which version was true? The inconsistencies only made him look guiltier. And if that wasn't enough, just hours before Bobbi Kristina was found unconscious, Gordon had been out partying with another woman. Was his grief genuine? Or was he merely covering his tracks? Nick Gordon's troubling history didn't begin with Bobbi Kristina. He had a well-documented record of domestic violence and substance abuse. After Bobbi Kristina's passing, his downward spiral continued. He was arrested multiple times for assaulting his later girlfriend, Laura Leal, who accused him of repeated physical abuse. In one chilling police report, Laura stated, "He punched me in the face. I was scared for my life." Despite these allegations, Gordon continued to deny wrongdoing, but his self-destructive path eventually caught up with him. In 2020, he died of a heroin overdose, a tragic and ironic end for the man many believe played a key role in Bobbi Kristina's untimely death. Was it karma? Or was it guilt that led to his downfall? Bobbi Kristina Brown was a young woman who carried the immense weight of grief while struggling to live up to the legacy of her iconic mother, Whitney Houston. Despite her personal battles, she wasn't entirely without support until Nick Gordon came into the picture. In the years following her tragic passing, those closest to Bobbi Kristina have shed light on the disturbing influence Gordon had over her life. According to friends and family, he worked to systematically cut her off from the people who genuinely cared about her well-being. Reports suggest that he maintained strict control over her phone, carefully monitoring her calls and messages to ensure she remained dependent on him. Loved ones recall how he manipulated her emotions, fostering a sense of isolation that left her feeling as though he was the only person she could truly trust. This level of control wasn't just about physical separation. It extended to her thoughts and decisions, making it increasingly difficult for Bobbi Kristina to break free from his grasp. Many believe that his psychological manipulation deepened her struggles, leaving her vulnerable and unable to see the red flags surrounding their toxic relationship. As more details emerged, it became evident that her downward spiral wasn't solely the result of personal grief, but was also fueled by the harmful environment Gordon created. Tragically, the isolation and control took a devastating toll, leaving many to wonder if things could have been different had she been able to escape his influence. Even worse, he allegedly encouraged her drug use, feeding her addiction instead of helping her escape it. Was her death really an accident? Or was it the tragic climax of an abusive and toxic relationship? Although Nick Gordon was never criminally charged, the civil case against him was clear. He was responsible for Bobbi Kristina's death. But did he truly face justice? Many believe that Gordon got away with murder, hiding behind legal technicalities and public sympathy. Others argue that his own tragic demise was poetic justice, a sign that the universe had finally caught up with him. Was Nick Gordon responsible for more than just negligence in Bobbi Kristina's tragic fate? Did her family truly receive the justice they sought? Or did the full truth about that heartbreaking night vanish with him? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments below.